How'd do, y'all? Well, in this episode, we are going to put in the barrel thingajinger to reclaim the water that we're draining out of the duck ponds. And then we're going to use that as basically a fertilized water for the garden. The farmer in.
Liddell.
The farmer in.
Liddell.
Hi-ho, da dirty do, the farmer in.
Liddell.
Well, we had a unfortunate event. The old ball valve, yeah, she no happy. So I had to cut that thing off, put a new one in. The tool I use, it's got a little slot right there to turn it on and off without having to stand on my head. Well, that broke off too. So what I'm going to do is take one of these 2-inch couplers. If you can see right there, I filed the little groove out so it just slips over the top. So it'll be kind of like this end. I did it over the top so it's double wall. Makes it a little bit stronger. And then we're going to do some other improvements on the duck ponds, but I'll show you that here in just a little bit. All right, well, there we go. Yeah, I know. PVC, ABS. How often do you have 3/4 inch ABS laying around though? Anyway, it's going to work. It's not holding water. It's just a tool. All right, we're going to take this old plastic drum right here and I'm going to cut it all the way around at this band, and then I'm going to cut it again up here. I'm hoping that this will actually slip down inside of that to work kind of as a lid. Then I'm going to bury it in the ground, and we're going to use this to capture the water that we drain off of the duck ponds. They're just little kiddie pools, but still, it's 10-15 gallons that we're going to be able to collect into 5-gallon buckets, then pour into like a little watering can, and we can water it directly onto our garden. And that's water we only have to use. We only have to pull out of the well once, but we get to use twice. And it's like fertilizer. Obviously, you still want to wash your vegetables off, but I mean, you ought to be doing that anyway. So now that will get buried in the ground. And then this has got 2 little handles on it that should slip down inside of that, I hope. I probably should have cut this part off first, but you know, hindsight. Okay, there's still some fuzzies and frills on the edge, but maybe not. I don't know. The barrel was also laying on its side in the sun, so if I knew which... Hey, looky there. That'll work. I might have to come back with a grinder and taper this edge and then taper the other one so it kind of... But that way we don't have a giant hole and hopefully nothing falls in it. So right here on the outside of the 2 duck pens, I've got a ball valve as well that I'm going to use to turn on and off. And then right here is where we're going to dig the hole and put that plastic drum. Pretty boring to watch somebody dig a hole. So I'll get that dug. I'll show you how it's going to be. And like once the barrel is in the ground, then I'll bring you back. And besides, the camera's probably going to overheat. We are making progress, guys. There's the hole. There's the bucket. Well, barrel. There's a bucket. You can see the size difference there. So it turns out there's a whole gob of earthworms in there. I mean, it makes sense. You're draining poopy duck water. Anyway, it's always moist is my point. But yeah, that's more clay-like than I expected. I went through a layer of rock and then a lot of clay, which I did not expect. Most of our dirt around here is super dry. But anyway, we're making progress. I'm gonna get some rock to put in the bottom of that. And then as you can kind of see, I drilled a bunch of holes in that because I don't want this to become a mosquito haven. Even though I'm gonna put a lid on it, it still had the, I think 2 bungs on top of it. But anyway, the lid's more to keep people from falling into it that don't know it's there. I don't know why anybody that doesn't know what's there is going to be on our property, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, like I said, it's kind of hot in here, or maybe I didn't say it. I don't know. Anyhow, I got to go get rock. That's what I said. But I'm going to take me in the house and cool off for a little bit because it is getting warm. And yeah, I'm not wearing as much shirt as I normally do, so I'm probably going to be a little bit toasted later. Well, I did it again. Oh my gosh, I got in a hurry to get out here and get this done before it got too dark, because it may not pick up very well in the camera, but it is getting dark. But anyway, let me show you what I did get done. I went and got 2 5-gallon buckets full of dirt that were in the back of Little Red there. And I put some down in there, and then I put this, I kind of stomped it down, and I put this in there, and then I put gravel around it because I don't want this thing, I want it to drain well. So hopefully we'll be collecting the water out of it. But anyway, that's the idea. So now I just got to clean up all my stuff and try and remember to film when I drain the duck pool. So we've got all of that water there that will go through underneath. There's the ball valve there. It'll go through that ball valve there, and then this ball valve here. So I've got that one shut off. This one is open. That one is closed currently. When I open it up, it'll all come to this one, and then I can turn it on and off as I'm filling the buckets of water. But I need to trim a short piece off of this and put that 90 down there on the end of that ball valve. But I'm gonna dry fit them. I don't want to glue it. That way I can take them out for putting the bucket down in there. So I've already opened the valves on the pools. So if all goes well, we should fill this 5-gallon bucket up, and then we'll switch over to that one. All right, I'm gonna say that's at least 4 gallons. I'm hoping, oh yeah, I can go around the end of that pipe. I didn't want to make it too far. That way we could still do that. And I don't want to fill these completely full because I don't want that water on my feet or my legs or, yeah. Well, so it's backfilling from one pool to the other every time I shut this off. So I only have 2 5-gallon buckets. I was hoping I could do it in 10 gallons, but realistically that's probably more like 8 or 7.5. Now let's just drain the rest. All right, so based just on timing of it, I'm gonna say that that's probably at least 15 gallons. If I had 4 buckets down here, I could do it to where there's like 2.5, 3 in each. But anyway, I'm gonna leave this valve open so that I can rinse the pools out, and that's the end of that. Now we've got fertilizer water that we can put on the garden. All right, well, that's, I guess, as far as I'm going to take it, that's the finished product. Things could still fly in the end of that there, the mosquitoes. I put a little cap on there. I think what I might do, because this is a pretty loose fit, is I might just put a screen around that and then a zip tie so that when I put this down on it, stuff can fly into here, but that's it. But I have to be able to remove that so that I can take the lid up out of there. And then, voila, we'll put a little elbow back in. Oh, this is hard one-handed. And then, I really don't want to get splashed here, but remember which way this goes. Good grief. And there we go. Fertilizer water. Yay.